In this video, I'm going to talk about my 3 favorite ways that help me the most to get out of a mental rut. And this is stuff that I've learned to do from running my business over the past 5 years, but also whenever I've gotten into a mental rut with just racing, relationships, negative thoughts, anything like that. This is what works for me. If you don't know me, I'm Logan Lesser, a national motocross racer, having won over 15 state championships and an amateur national championship. I'm an extreme sports athlete and ran a marketing agency for over 4 years, growing it to $30,000 a month. And while doing so, was able to travel the world living in Cape Town, South Africa, part-time throughout the past few years. And I've spent nearly $50,000 on mentors, coaches, courses, and education, learning from the best of the best in business, fitness, mindset, racing, and so on. Now I'm sharing what I've learned and growing my community, the Champion Protocol, linked in the description below. All right, before I jump into it, if you want to check out my online community or any of my fitness programs, digital products, anything like that, link is in the description below, so feel free to check that out. But basically, I have definitely had a lot of mental ruts over the years, especially when it comes to running my business and everything, as well as when it comes to relationships and stuff. When it comes to relationships, I always tend to get pretty attached very quickly. So when things go wrong, then it just sends me for a mental spiral. So I've had to learn what actually helps me with this stuff and everything. And these are the 3 things that help more than anything else that I've tried. So jumping right in, the first, which you've probably heard before, is working out and going to the gym. Honestly, this is one of the best things to do because I just noticed as soon as I go to the gym and as soon as I start working out and I'm listening to some really, really good music that's pumping me up, then I'm working on myself actively. I'm making myself better. Especially when it comes to relationships and stuff, a good saying that I've heard before is you can either get bitter or you can get better. If a relationship ends or whatever and you break up with your girlfriend or whatever ends up happening, obviously that is one of the most painful feelings that you can have, which is heartbreak. But you can either get bitter and you can be super resentful towards them and you can really just feel like shit and kind of do nothing, or you can even turn to really negative vices like drinking or smoking or whatever else and basically just be a freaking loser. Or you can decide to get better and go to the gym and work on yourself and basically prove it's her loss or it's their loss or whatever, and basically when I go to the gym, that's kind of how I'm feeling, is I am working on myself. I am getting better. I'm improving. Now, when it comes to other things like worrying about business or I've worried about, clients leaving, or I've been in a difficult financial situation or whatever else, I'll kind of just have all of this stuff stacked up in my mind, just like a freaking Mount Everest size stack of things that is overwhelming me. And then when I go to the gym, it almost allows my mind to kind of just free itself and reorganize everything to where instead of it being this giant stack, it's almost like this nice organized stuff horizontally now. Instead of it being stacked vertically super high to where it's overwhelming, it's now stacked horizontally where I can easily see everything that I need to take care of. And then it just makes it kind of just clears my mind up and gets rid of all the crap and all the negative thoughts and all of the things that I was even overanalyzing or overthinking, or I was looking at this as such a big deal when it actually isn't, and all this stuff. So overall, the gym and working out is just one of the best ways to just clear the mind. It makes you feel good about yourself because when you finish the workout, you're I just did something hard. I just did something that's going to make me better. I feel good. I feel pumped up. And it also just makes you feel like you can take on anything else. If you go hit a really, really difficult workout and you push past your limit and you push for a new PR or something like that, then afterwards you're fuck yeah, I just accomplished that. I just did that. I pushed past those. I pushed through when it got tough and everything. So bring it on. Whatever it is I got to deal with, I got it. I can do this. So that's the first thing, is work out, go to the gym. And honestly, something super simple also is whenever you're starting to kind of not feel so great or whatever, literally just drop and do 25 push-ups, or 25 burpees or whatever. I've actually heard, I've actually done it myself. It actually helps a lot. Literally just dropping and doing that, it immediately can just click your mind or just reset your mind a little bit and get your blood pumping, get your heart rate up a little bit. So even doing something as simple as that can help a lot. Because one thing I've noticed with me is when I'm super low energy and I'm really tired and really like, drowsy, or just I didn't get much sleep or whatever, I'm just not feeling so good, that's when a lot of the negative thoughts and stuff enters my mind and starts running rampant. But when I'm super energized and I've got a lot of energy, I've had my coffee or my Monster or whatever, and like I'm just feeling really good, usually I don't have those negative thoughts. Like I'm ready to just take on the world. Like I'm ready to just get after it. So all that stuff doesn't really bother me at that point. It's when I'm like super tired and everything that I start to have all those negative thoughts. I don't feel like dealing with anything and all that stuff. So if you like just in those moments kind of drop and do 25 push-ups or whatever, then you get your heart rate up, you get your blood pumping, and you kind of get that energy flowing again. Then it kind of immediately can reset you and make you feel better. And you're like, all right, let's do this. Like we got this. And so that's just like a really quick fix. Now, jumping into the second thing that helps me a lot is actually going for a walk and specifically talking to myself. And it can either be like in my own head where I'm just kind of thinking. And what's important, by the way, is going for a walk, but not listening to music and stuff. Like I love music. I listen to music all the time, which I didn't add that to the list, but music can definitely help me kind of get out of a mental rut, like where I'll listen to some good upbeat music or some music that it doesn't matter how I'm feeling, it always seems to pump me up. But at the same time, like sometimes that could be kind of temporary and it feels great while I'm listening to the music. But as soon as I take the headphones off or something, then all those thoughts and stuff come back and then I don't feel very good. So that's why I didn't add it to the list. But I mean, if it works for you, that's another great thing that you can use, because it definitely has worked for me. But specifically when it comes for going for a walk and stuff, what really helps me a lot, and this has helped me a lot with actually everything, like relationships, business, whatever, is I'm such an overthinker and I overanalyze everything. So when I simply like step away and I'll just go for a walk or whatever, and I start to talk to myself, and I'll literally talk to myself out loud, what I specifically do is while I'm walking, I'll talk to myself, but I'll focus on the logic. I'll focus on the logical side of the situation. And basically what it'll do is it allows me to realize that a lot of the thoughts and a lot of the worries and the negative things that were going through my mind before, it was actually me just making up a bunch of stupid assumptions and basically just overthinking and overanalyzing the situation and making it out to be way worse or way bigger of a deal than it actually is. And then once I went for a walk and talked to myself and talked to myself explaining the logical side of the situation, then I realized there's actually nothing to worry about here. Like I'm literally just worrying for no reason. Like once I explain the logical side of what is actually happening and the facts behind the situation, it's like there's nothing even to worry about. Like I'm almost just making myself worry for the sake of worrying. Like there's literally nothing for me to worry about right now. Like I don't know what is going on in my head. So it really allows me to clear things up. And also sometimes I'll come to like new conclusions or new realizations that help me moving forward. Like if I'm trying to solve a problem or trying to figure something out, then going for a walk and talking to myself and talking about it out loud helps me a lot to really come to the conclusion and figure it out or come to the solution that I was looking for. So that's another thing that helps a lot. And specifically when you're talking to yourself, focusing on the logic side of things, not how you're feeling, not the emotions, nothing like that, the logical side, because basically that'll kind of clear up all the crap that's going through your head regarding the overthinking and overanalyzing and the emotions trying to control you and all of that shit. So that should help. Now, the third thing, which is actually kind of similar to that, is actually talking to someone about it. And I'm not talking about a therapist. I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm literally just talking about anybody you can call up and talk to or go talk to in person. And whether it's a buddy, a parent, a brother, a sister, I don't care who it is, just somebody who you tend to talk to easily and everything. It can help a lot. And I've actually, over the years, I've done this a lot with my mom. Me and my mom are super, super close, and she's always been a big, big supporter. So is my dad. Like my dad has always been extremely supportive of everything I do. But I've always just been able to talk to my mom very, very easily about basically anything. And I've always just found that it's super helpful to talk with her and just talk through things that maybe I'm struggling with and that's bothering me. And I've had a lot of conversations with her on the business side of things, of stuff that's been worrying me and stuff that I just can't figure out and stuff like that. And what's interesting is that it's not necessarily her who figures out the solution or kind of what I need. It's literally just the matter of like me talking about the situation out loud to somebody. And I almost figure it out myself by doing that. Like me just talking to them and then them almost like asking me to elaborate on something, or maybe they give me a different perspective on it or something like that. It allows me to come to a new conclusion and a new realization that I wouldn't have on my own. And it allows me to kind of figure it out or to push through it or whatever. So that's something that's been really big for me that I've realized, is that a lot of times in the past I would kind of keep stuff to myself, you know, and I wouldn't want to really talk about it. And I would just be like, I'm going to figure it out on my own. Whereas what I've found is it's actually very helpful to literally just go talk to somebody about it, just for the matter of being able to say it out loud. And then you almost like figure it out as you're talking. Like there's been times I remember where I would be talking to my mom about something and she'd almost not even really say anything because I would just talk the whole time. Like I'd talk her ear off. But as I was talking to her, I'd be like, actually, you know what? I could probably approach it in this way. And yeah, that would actually work really well. So that could probably fix it. And she's kind of just like sitting there listening while I'm literally like solving it for myself. So it's kind of funny how that works, of literally just kind of talking to somebody about it. Which that's obviously very similar to going for the walk and talking to yourself. But obviously talking to somebody can help a lot, because they don't even need to be like an expert in whatever it is you're trying to talk to them about, because simply getting like a different perspective on the situation and a different set of eyeballs can literally just allow your brain to think and approach it differently and help you come to new realizations that you wouldn't have before, which can help you overcome it or solve the problem or whatever else. So that seems to have helped me a lot. So yeah, so those are my 3 things. It's literally working out, going to the gym, or even just dropping and doing 25 push-ups or something just to get the heart rate up and get the blood pumping a little bit, regain that energy and everything like that. Something I actually didn't add to this list either is, so I didn't add music, because music can be a big one. That can definitely help a lot. But another thing is actually taking a nap. And I know that sounds like a baby thing of like, are you going to take your nap? But I'm telling you, a 20-minute power nap has been a game changer for me, especially if I feel like really tired and exhausted and I'm like feeling overwhelmed. If I go and lay down and set a time for 20 minutes, and when I wake up again, I wake up and I do feel tired, because obviously I just fell asleep. So I'm like, it's that feeling of like waking up again, and you're going to feel a little groggy at first. But a 20-minute power nap does a lot for you in terms of energy. Like it's really healthy for you, and it can give you a lot of energy and stuff, but it's also a nice reset. Like I've noticed that helps me a lot. So that's something I didn't even think about or add to the list, but a 20-minute power nap can do a lot. So yeah, so working out, going to the gym, you know, kind of spiking your heart rate up, doing like 25 push-ups or whatever. Listening to music is another one that can help a lot. Taking a 20-minute power nap, and then basically going for a walk and just talking out loud to yourself and specifically focusing on the logical side of the situation. That helps a lot. And then lastly, it's funny how this video was originally 3 things, now it's 5. Lastly is actually talking to somebody about it. So that is what helps me kind of get out of a mental rut and kind of push through things and figure things out. So hopefully that's helpful. And if it is, if you want more videos like this, feel free to subscribe. Like I said at the beginning, if you want to check out my online community or any of my digital products and stuff I got for you guys, link to that's in the description below. And with that being said, I will see you in the next one. Peace.